I wanted to see what Mortal Kombat's Conquest mode would look like in Unreal Engine 5. So I did just that. Alright, so I first needed to get the scale of everything, so I went ahead and downloaded the original map, placed that into Unreal Engine 5 as a plane, and scaled it up using my eye. I then began creating simple shapes to place over the silhouettes of the buildings, but the scale was still a bit off. Second attempt going in, I got a legit Xbox copy of Deception that's totally not an emulator. Loaded up Conquest, took multiple screenshots of the game's areas, and most importantly putting Shujinko next to key objects like this guy, to get the scale as accurate as possible to the original game. I even tried counting the sections of the buildings and using Shujinko as a unit of measurement, and started mapping out everything based off of how many Shujinko lengths it was, which obviously was not accurate enough. Eventually, after doing some research, I found out of a method that only seems to work for the PSP version of the game, and using a program called Ninja. So finally, after loading up a legit copy of Deception for the PSP I had laying around, and not an emulator, in combination with Ninja, I was finally able to successfully extract the levels from the game section by section.
Well done.
I used a plugin provided by Ninja Ripper to import the scenes into Blender in order to fix some of the distortions that come with ripping old games like MK Deception. I honestly barely know what I'm doing myself, so I don't understand 100% why. I just know it has something to do with the FOV. Oh, and for some reason the textures, they get exported with a blue tint for some reason, but other than that, everything works fine. Next, I needed to convert the image files to PNG, as they were all .dds files, which Unreal Engine 5 didn't seem to like, so I found a third-party converter online and tediously converted all the images back to PNG. So finally, the last step was to replace all the textures in Blender, but instead of doing that manually, I used a script I found on GitHub that automatically replaces all the images with the same name to a different image file, which worked perfectly for my preference. After cleaning up the scenes a little bit and getting them ready to export, imported them all into Unreal, and the textures loaded fine. However, due to some of the names overlapping, some of the textures are in the wrong place, but that doesn't really matter. All that matters is that we have the scale 1-to-1 to the original game, which is awesome. Alright, so now that I'm satisfied with the scale, the next logical steps would be to replace the landscape within Unreal Engine 5 and start isolating the buildings within the scenes I ripped in Blender and begin remastering them and creating NPCs within MetaHuman, including Shujinko. Alright, I really don't have any big plan to make this a functioning game, other than maybe adding some animations, simple dialogue and side quests, as well as collecting the coins and chests. This is only meant as a proof of concept more than anything. And with that comes the end of the video. Alright, shout out to my patrons as of March 2023. Your support goes a long way in supporting a mentally ill, starving artist withering away working 2 meaningless jobs. So, if you can, and want to help a struggling artist replace one of their part-time jobs by providing a means to focus on the things that bring meaning into this agonizing existence we all call life, then consider becoming a patron today. The lowest tier starts at $1, and the higher tiers have access to exclusive posts and access to the Google Drives with project files and 3D assets like the Earthrealm Village seen in this video, as well as 3D models like the Maul Crimson Dawn character model used in my Star Wars mod. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye.
Excellent.